welcome to the vlog. I am gonna be reading Jade Legacy and I am absolutely terrified. This is gonna be a spoiler-filled vlog, so strap in because this is definitely gonna be a long one. I have had my heart ripped out already by Jade City and Jade War, so I already know this is gonna hurt. I have not read a single page yet. All I know is that Eliza, one of my co-hosts are Eliza, Sam, and Meredith. They're reading this with me. If you aren't already aware, I have a Discord where we're chatting. I'm gonna do a live show for it, which has already been posted, which I will link up for you if you wanna watch it. But all I know is that Eliza read this, was destroyed, and then she's been in this major book hangover after completing it. So much so that she restarted Jade City just so she could be with the characters again. So I'm just really nervous about what's gonna happen to the remaining surviving characters in here. I will be doing periodic check-ins with you. I wanted to start this vlog before I got into it. Wish me luck. Guys, I barely started this book. I'm on chapter 2, and I'm already so disgusted and pissed off and upset and heartbroken and devastated and angry. Like, what the fuck? Hilo is at the fucking brothel. Fucking whores. When the love of his life is still injured from dying and coming back. And he's going to the brothel and f***ing whores? Like, I was reading it and I was hoping it wasn't true. It's like, oh, he's driving, he's angry because he had to murder some lantern man of his, and then he's like, oh, he ended up at the Lilac Divine, and I'm kind of like just reading it along, and I'm like, wait, why is he at the Lilac Divine? Like, I know what that is. That's the brothel. And then the whole interaction is kind of weird, like the lantern man woman is kind of like wary of him because of the other times he's been there, and he acts kind of weird. This chick goes in and he's like, get on the bed, and she's like, oh, we don't have to rush, and he's like, I have a wife and children at home, this won't take long if you cooperate. And then she gets on the bed, she's like naked, and then he fucks her, and I'm like, this is not the daddy Hilo that I loved. You know what I mean? I do not like this man. I lost so much respect for him. Like, I was ride or die Hilo, but like, not this version of Hilo. Like, I'm so disappointed and disgusted with him right now. Like, to do that to Wen? Okay, I cannot make this video too long. I'm gonna go. But like, it's literally been 2 chapters. Hi, I have an update for you. I've read 25% and a lot has happened. I'm also going to a basketball thing today. We're gonna go see a game with some of my alumni friends. I'm gonna change out of this dress. But I was looking for new tripods because I'm kind of sick and tired of this tripod that I have. And it was mainly because I was like, I need a quick release function because spinning this huge like camera like on the top of the thing, hold on. That makes no sense. Like, pretend this is a camera, right? Having to spin the camera like this on the thing is really stupid. And I wanted something that had a quick release. But literally, as I was looking up cameras, I watched a video of a different tripod and they were like, just go like this. You pull this thing out like this. Can you see this? Hold on. So there's this lever thing and you just pull it out like this. And then this thing comes off. So then you can just screw this more easily into the bottom of the camera. Are you kidding? It has a quick release on this cheap tripod. Like, I always wondered what that lever was for. I thought it was like to tighten. I couldn't figure it out. Now I know. Game changing. So now I don't need a new tripod because that's all I really wanted. So yeah, I'm gonna film a recommendation video for some historical romance recs. Let me tell you what happened in Jade Legacy so far. Kind of a lot. So much time has passed already at 25%. Let me get a little more comfortable. You can see all the laundry Chase was supposed to put his laundry away. I put mine away. It took a couple days. I started folding his because I'm nice. Because it's just been piled for a couple days. That's very unusual for us. So just we'll just ignore that somehow. Let's go somewhere else. Also, we got this new like Dyson air purifier thing. Hopefully it makes the air better in here. Because honestly, it makes us a little ill. Anyway. All right, so 25% of the way in. I already told you that I was pissed at Hilo for cheating on Wen. That was tragic. It's been like a handful of years. Like, I just got past 25% and Anden is now 31 years old and Niko is 14. He's in the academy and I think the youngest child, the girl, Jayla, I think that's her name, is in the academy as well. I think she's probably 12. And then Rue still lives at home because he doesn't have any Jade abilities. I haven't really met Rue as like a preteen yet. But yeah, a lot of time has gone by. So the most interesting news that I want to talk about right off the bat is that Wen has like been doing her physical therapy stuff, like she's getting better. And she was having fights with Hilo, obviously because she knows what's going on, that he's cheating on her or whatever. And she's like, do you want a divorce? And he just lost it. He was like so upset. But like, how can he be surprised that she's like, you're cheating on me, like, don't you want a divorce? But he's like, don't ever say that, like, da-da-da-da, I love you so much, da-da-da. So they started working on their problems. And then Hilo, with the surprising turn of opinion, decided to make Wen his new pillarman. So, there's so much drama with that too. Tar was the pillarman, but like he literally went kind of cuckoo crazy because of the grief of the death of his brother. I think they said it was when green turns black. Oh my God, he was like dating this girl who was a fist and they were like kind of toxic. They would get back together, they'd break up, they'd get back together, whatever, over and over again. And then they're like, oh, we're finally gonna get married. And then one night Tar calls Hilo in the middle of the night. It's like, I did something. And he had murdered his fiance in a fit of uncontrolled rage. And it was tragic. Like, that is so tragic. So Hilo had just been speaking to Niko. Oh my God, there's so many things that connect together, right? So Hilo had just been talking to Niko. This was like before Niko was 14. Niko's probably like 8. And was telling Niko the truth about what happened to his mother. Basically that Hilo killed the mother, and he was like upfront about it. He's like, sometimes you need to do things that are difficult because people have betrayed the clan and all this stuff. And, you know, considering Niko took it pretty well, like I knew that was gonna come out eventually. But honestly, I feel like Hilo got pretty lucky with Niko's response so far, but we'll see if, I don't know if there are gonna still be repercussions of like Hilo killing Niko's mother. I don't know, but he was just a kid. So yeah, Hilo was just saying like, yeah, sometimes you have to, you know, kill the people you love because they've betrayed the clan or like stuff like that. And then Tar does this thing where he like clearly does something you are not supposed to do by killing one of their own fists. So Hilo was going to kill Tar, you know, and it was really sad. But he's like, I just can't lose any more people. So instead he banishes Tar. Like he like takes his jade and tells him that he's banished from the country and all this stuff. And Wen fully expected Hilo to have killed Tar and she would have just lost another brother. And but he didn't. And then Hilo was like, you know, I was really abusing my power with Tar, like making him do all the hard stuff that I didn't want to do when it comes to like the darker parts of the responsibilities in the leadership role of being like a green bone. He had a lot of regret on that, so he decided to revamp the role and made Wen the pillar. Like, I don't exactly remember what her responsibility is as the pillar. Yo, there's so many crazy things that I don't even remember. I gotta read this book faster. I've been reading it too slowly. He said, the pillarman used to be a person who didn't answer to the half of the clan with jade or the half with money. Someone who was always at the pillar's side, someone who gave him advice he needed to hear, who made everything run smoother, who helped the pillar to be the pillar. When will you be my pillarman? So now she's doing that stuff. So that's cool. Oh, okay. And then switching it up, Shay discovered that she's actually in love with Poppywan, or whatever his name is. Poppy? Because now he wants to step down from being her shadow, basically the person that she works with the closest as the weatherman, because he's still in love with her. But he has a wife, and him and his wife have been trying to have a baby for a while, but she's had like a couple of miscarriages, which is tragic. But now that Shay has to like take him out of that position, she's like, oh shit, like I actually have feelings for you. And then they like cross some lines, they like make out, and he's like, why are you doing this now? Like, but he says stuff where he's like, you know, the weatherman works for the pillar, like the pillar is the spine of the clan or whatever, but you know, you give your life to the pillar, but he's like, I give my life to the weatherman, like the weatherman is who I work for, like weatherman is my like star. I don't remember exactly how you said it, but I was like, dude, you're married. And then you're gonna be shocked when Shay's like, oh shit, like you love me so much, I wanna make out with you. And then he's like, wait, why are you doing this? And it's like, dude, because you are like so passionately in love with her. But like she took so long, like he like everybody knew he was in love with her before he got married. And now she's like, oh, now I want him. So that was drama. But because the time is moving so quickly, Hilo catches them being, you know, they don't like do too far. They've had like 2 incidents, but Hilo catches them one time and he's like, dude, you gotta set this right. And then it just like randomly says in a random paragraph that they're getting married. That Poppy left his wife and Shay and him are gonna get married. So I was like, okay, I haven't really seen them in a while since that news. Like I didn't even really like see the wedding. It was just kind of mentioned as if from a distance, like, yeah, they're gonna get married now. And you're like, what? But I did see the scene where Poppy's first wife, you know, before the wedding or whatever, comes to Shay and like tells her basically, go fuck yourself, you know? Which balls to that woman, because she knows who Shay is. Like she goes, Cal, Shay, like go fuck yourself. Like she knows exactly who she's talking to and she does not care. The ball's on that woman, you know, I applaud her. But still, I feel really bad for her because obviously like her husband was in love with another woman this whole time. Like he dropped everything for Shay. Like Shay's in trouble, he will fly like hours away to like be with Shay to like save her. You know what I mean? So I can feel the woman's pain. I feel bad. But now they're getting married, and I haven't really seen them as a married couple yet. Anden has been helping still with the Espenian like merging stuff. He is like a full-fledged doctor now. He uses his channeling abilities to do all these medical things, which is like typical in the medical field for green bone jade users. But they like call it more specific things because you have to be very precise with it, and it's not just like channeling to kill somebody, you know what I mean? And the Nopi clan is trying to show Espenians that they shouldn't make jade illegal in their country, because currently jade is pretty much illegal for civilians to use outside of like the military. So the Nopi clan really wants to make jade more legal in that country, because how are they gonna like really move around? How are they gonna protect their Cantonese, Espenian counterparts or whatever if they're like making them criminals just because they're carrying jade, which is their culture and all that stuff. So their first like tiptoe step into it is to try to legalize jade for medical practices. So Anden has been going back and forth. He's been working with some Espenian doctors and stuff to show them what they can do with jade to like heal people and how much better it is and like how efficient it is compared to like other modern medicines and stuff like that. So that's what he's been working on. And then, oh my God, because like as a medical person, he's not technically like affiliated with any clans, but he's a cult basically, right? So he's always going to be associated with No Peak in some capacity, and Hilo really relies on him in Espenia to like get stuff done because he blends in with the Espenians. He looks Espenian because of his half blood, you know, like his father was Espenian. And since he spent a lot of years there, he's fairly fluent in the Espenian language and all that stuff. So he's a great liaison for No Peak. Hilo sends him to this other city, like down more south in Espenia, because there's a rumor that the Mountain Clan is trying to make their way into Espenia through this like crime-infested city. Wow, this is like a lot because this book is long. This is like almost 200 pages worth of content. This guy, Remy. So Hilo puts Anden in contact with this guy, Remy, who is this like crew leader down there who kind of like runs this city down south. And this guy's kind of just a jackass. He admits that he's like, yeah, the Mountain has come to me. They've offered me all these things, money, gangsters, people for my business, like all these things that were like appealing to him. And he's like, but I haven't agreed to them yet. I wanted to see what you guys would offer. So Anden's like trying to offer all these things, whatever. He's like, I can't offer you anything like illegal. And then the guy's like, I'll consider it because you're kind of cute. So now you're gonna have to suck me off. And I was like, he's like, I'll agree if you suck my dick. And I was like, what? You asshole, what the fuck? But the way Anden handled it, I was like, props to you, Anden. Like, I gotta stop looking at Anden like a kid. I have to like reframe him in my mind because all of a sudden he's a man. Anden quickly realized that this guy really just wants power, right? Like, he knows he's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place between the mountain and the No Peak clans. So he has to kind of like go with whatever they say, but he really just wants to like, you know, show his own power or whatever. So Anden's like, fine, you can keep Resville. You seem to be running Resville now. The No Peak clan won't come to Resville as long as you keep the mountain out of Resville. Like, fuck up their things, like mess with their businesses, whatever. If they stay out, we'll stay out. I'm not giving you anything else at this point because you're a jerk. And I can tell all you want is power. You want to be the head honcho. So I'll let you be the head honcho if you keep them out. But if the mountain does come to Resville, then No Peak is going to come to Resville and we're going to have a war here. Because we've done it before and we will do it again. We don't care if it's going to take out some of our guys because we know it will hurt our enemies and will hurt you as well. And I was like, and then Anden zips the guy's junk back into his trunk. And that's kind of where I left off. That's the last thing I remember. Anything else major? Oh, Baro's still like doing shit. Like, he's a part of some anti-clan group. Not that much has taken off. Actually, it's starting to pick up a little bit because Baro gets approached by these like Espenian military guys. They know that this like Ute guy has been training or like going to these anti-clan meetings that Baro has been also going to. Some guy named Vastik, whatever. Apparently he's one of the Nekolva, which means they have jade abilities without wearing jade because they eat it. But also they're kind of like bred to do that. Like Abuki women, like the race that has jade, like they don't react to jade. They like stole their women and trafficked them and then like bred them with the Yugatarian people. I don't know. It's crazy. It was like traumatizing. It says, over the past 30 years, hundreds of Abuki women have been trafficked to Yucatan or lured there with the promise of domestic work. When they arrive, they're forced to become surrogates for supposedly infertile couples. Beginning in childhood, the mixed-race offspring are dosed with low levels of SN1 and ground jade powder. Some of them suffer debilitating side effects or die as a result. The ones that show promise are given the country's best military training. So that's what this guy is. He's like a baby product of this like horrible thing that was happening. Interested to see where that goes. That's like horrifying. Also, this clip has been super long. So I'm gonna go, it's already the 27th, and I think my live show is the 10th. It's in a little over a week. All right, that's it for now. I will catch you later. Hello, so I am doing some reading. I've gotten to 25%, I'm on page, well, past that. I have only like about 10 days left to finish this book before my live show, and I've just been like way too social lately that I haven't been reading nearly as much as I should. So pretty much I need to read 50 pages a day to be on track to complete this book. Otherwise, like, I'll end up on the last day with 200 pages to read, you know, which I don't want to get myself stuck in that situation. So I'm still enjoying it. A lot of time has passed. I'm currently on live sprints with Maggie for her historical romance readathon. Here we are on sprints. That's all. Goodbye. Guys, I'm like literally sick with denial right now. I just got to chapter 27. So things have gone down that I cannot believe since the last clip where I was like on reading sprints. Did the reading sprints, then I was chilling on the couch, did my 50 pages of reading, and I came across like the anti-clan group attacking one of the main buildings, right? It was like all the clan leaders for the most part were all in one place because they have their meetings for like the Jade Alliance thing or whatever. This random chick that was in the anti-clan group got in, was pretending to be like a secretary, like serving water and stuff, and she stabbed Atmata in the neck. And I was like, is this how Atmata's gonna die? Like, I don't like Atmata. I want her to be defeated, but like, I wasn't expecting some random chick to be the one to take her out. So Hilo's there, but like before this all happened, Hilo gets a note and it's like, leave this building, you're in danger, pretty much. And he's like, what the heck? He's like trying to figure out what's going on. He's like suspicious of Atmata, obviously, and like everybody else around him. He tells Woon Poppy, who I believe was with him, like he shows him the note and he's like, yo, you need to leave and like figure out what's going on. Woon's like, I'm not leaving you, da-da-da. He's like, and then Hilo's like, just go. So Woon left the room and Hilo gets up and he's kind of like, yeah, I've got a family emergency. I need to leave. And that's when the girl goes and stabs At in the neck because At wasn't expecting it because she's focused on Hilo. Like, what is Hilo doing? I can tell he's lying. Atmata's alliances, they're like, oh my God, she's gonna die. Like, she's bleeding out. You know, she's struggling. She's like holding her neck. And they're like, get help, get help. And Hilo's already standing by the door. And he just goes to block the door so nobody can leave. Hilo knows he can't physically attack Atmata because the religious guys are there to like make sure they keep the peace or whatever. And he really respects that. Otherwise, they're like, damn your soul or whatever. But he's like, if I do nothing, if I force everybody else to do nothing, she's gonna die. So he's just standing there and everybody else is just like, okay. So like Hilo's allies sit and then Atmata is like realizing that she has no true friends in this room, which is kind of sad. She killed the girl that stabbed her, right? She had enough strength to like bash the girl's head against the table and like throw her against the glass window, like a big glass window like you would expect in an office, and it like cracks the glass a little bit, like it puts the spider web things in it. So once Atmata sees that nobody's gonna save her, she runs and breaks through the glass and like jumps down like 3 stories and like stumbles and like runs away. I was like, she won't die. Like, she can't die. She just won't die. And Hilo's looking after her like, are you serious? But then he notices she like jumped onto this car and like dented the car in that's outside the building, which is unusual, but nobody's in the car and he's suspicious. And then all of a sudden that car like blows up. It like blows up the bottom of the office building and it collapses the rest of the building. So like that was the anti-clan group's attack to kill all the leaders of the major clans because they're all sitting in the same room, except Atmata because she ran away. So I'm in like the ultimate denial right now. I'm praying that Hilo's fine, that Woon Poppy is also fine, that they're okay, that they didn't just die in a terrorist attack. I like read too much romance because in romance everything's fine. But like Hilo might actually be dead. And I don't think I can take that right now. Also, in an analytical sense, it's interesting because a lot of the green bones have been taken out by non-green bones, right? So like Ken was taken out by non-green bones. Wen almost lost her life from non-green bones. Hilo might be dead from non-green bones. Lan died because of like a drug overdose. Like a lot of things that take out these green bones aren't other green bones. And they're like so wrapped up in their culture and like you have to do it the green bone way, that they struggle to see the threats from non-green bone things. Like they're trying to like modernize and they're like getting into the other countries and seeing that they have to do business differently. They have to work with like scummier gangs in other countries and stuff. I do know that Hilo apparently had been training himself and some of his, green bones how to respond to bombs and stuff because after the Ken incident, he didn't want that to happen again. So like, I don't know, they like know kind of what to do. So maybe he escaped, but the way Fonda is, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dead, but I haven't gotten any confirmation yet. I'm just getting it like third hand where like these random guys are like, yeah, all the leaders of the Greenbone clans are dead. And I'm shocked. Also, Baro was like working with the anti-clan things, but he wasn't in the know of what was going on. He was an informant for the Espenians because the Espenians knew there was this Utanian man working with the anti-clan people for Utan's, whatever they were trying to achieve, and they were trying to figure out what that is. So these Espenians knew that this attack was going to happen because they've been doing all this spying, but they didn't do anything to stop it because they really wanted to catch that Utanian guy. So they were like, some lives lost, but catching this guy and figuring out what Utan's trying to do is going to save millions. And Baro's like, yeah, millions of Espenians, like, You didn't do anything to protect the Kekanese people. You know, not that he cares about the Greenbone clan leaders, but he liked the girl that stabbed Atmata in the neck. Like I don't know. He didn't like her, but I don't know. He felt soft towards her. So I was like, that's a fair point. Like, they're like, we saved millions of lives by sacrificing these people, by not stopping it. It would have made him suspicious and he would have gotten away. And I'm like, if Hilo's dead, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be devastated and pissed. And Hilo's nephew, Niko, is now 15. He's in academy, Lan's son, right? And he's so much like Lan so far, I think. Very calm, cool, collected, logical dude. But he's only 15. And I'm like, can't be the clan leader. I mean, Lan had to be clan leader, and he was like 31 or something. And they were like, he's so young. And then Hilo was clan leader, and he was only like 20-something. And they were like, oh my god, he's the youngest person to be the clan leader ever. So like, Niko can't be the clan leader at 15. Trying to switch up the camera spots to make this interesting. So I told you that Shay and Woon Poppy got married, right? Now, Shay is pregnant, and she's 40. She's pregnant with her first baby, and she's 40. So they're expecting a daughter. I think she's in Espenia right now doing some work to try to get Jade more legalized. They were able to make it legal in the medical field or whatever, but they're trying to destigmatize it so that the Kekanese that live in Espenia can have a better life. But it's not going well. The reputation isn't good. And then Wen has been trying to get more into the social world, like, you know, being the pillar man now and also being the wife of the pillar. And she realizes that she needs to improve the reputation of Jade, improve the reputation of Kekanese people globally. So she's been working with like marketing groups. I think Shay's working with a marketing group actually. And then Wen is working with like film directors and stuff, because all of the films that are made internationally, like in Shotar, show Greenbones as being like these Baroccan gangster people who are like half Greenbones, and they're just like they're just criminals, you know? I mean, obviously Greenbones are violent, but they're like, they have values. They have codes. The Baroccans are seen as like gangsters, like true gangsters. So she's like, that's all that people see about Jade, so obviously they're not going to want Jade to be available for civilians. They want to keep it illegal, right? Because it has such a bad reputation. So they're trying to, through marketing and through media, try to improve that social opinion, which I think is very clever. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm still devastated about the Hilo thing, so we'll see how that goes also. The last, like, minor thing is that, so it's like Niko, Rue, and Jayla are the next generation. Niko's 15, Rue is 12, and Jayla's 11. Like I said, Niko's pretty chill, cool, calm, collected. Rue is a bit of a troublemaker. He's the Stone Eye kid. He's the first kid born of Hilo and Wen. He's just gonna get them in trouble because he's like, let's sneak out of school to go into the mountain district to, like, watch a duel and all this stuff. Like, he's a troublesome kid. He's also like, I should be more of a leader than Niko. Niko's just too, like, whatever. He just, like, doesn't agree with how Niko is, even though he loves him. He sees him as his brother. But also, the older Greenbones, like the current Horn, when they confronted Niko and Rue for sneaking out, see Niko as a very good leader, like, has that leader potential. So we'll see as they age up, because I'm still not even 50% of the way through. But I don't want these clips to be too long, so I'm going to let you go and I'll update you more later. Hello, it is night, and I am not sitting on the couch for once, but I am sitting at the desk. I just started reading pretty much for the 50 pages I need to do for the day, and it's 11 p.m. But anyway, I did pass the 50% mark last night. So the last I talked to you, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that bombing that happened at the Jade Alliance building where Hilo and Poppy Woon were at, and that they might be dead. But they weren't dead. Because, like I had guessed, they were trained to withstand bombings after the car bombing thing. So Hilo had stealed his organs, because normally Greenbones will steal their skin and bones against attacks, because you're usually getting attacked by like knives and stuff, but with the bomb training you have to steal their organs, that way they don't explode due to the like pressure and all this stuff. So they both did that and they managed to survive. Obviously they were still really, really injured. And then, did I tell you this? So when they were still looking for Hilo in the rubble, Shay had gone to the temple and nobody was there. It was like empty. It was evacuated pretty much because there was like obviously a bomb threat and all this stuff. It was close to the site where the bombing happened. And Shay finds Aunt Mata there. And Aunt Mata's still like mortally wounded from the stab wound in her neck. So she's been like channeling into her own body trying to like save herself. But like that's just not sustainable. Shay is like, oh my God, she's finally gonna die. And Aunt Mata's like, oh Shay, you might finally get your wish. You'll just be the only pillar. Assuming that Hilo's dead and that Aunt Mata's gonna die. And Shay's like, I can't be the only pillar. Like, I would have to deal with the chaos that this whole attack and the whole clan list and the outside forces and all this other bullshit by myself. And the chaos that would ensue with the Kobans taking over the Mountain Clan because they're very like isolationist. Like they want to just keep the country isolated from everybody else. And the chaos that that would bring. She's like, I cannot risk that. So she decides to save Aunt Mata and she brings in Anden. They take her to Anden's place. To be fair, I agreed with her logic. I think Shay is probably one of the most logical people in this series, minus I still don't understand like why she was helping the Espenians back in the day, like when she was a college student. I still don't understand that. But every other decision, like I've been on par with her, so I respected it. They were healing her. It'd been like a day or two. And then they see on the news that Hilo was found, and that kind of changed everything. And they're like, oh, should we try to kill Aunt Mata now? But they decide to let her go with her old horn guy, whatever. So that all happened, which was crazy. Then they jump 5 years because it says like subtly that like, you know, Hilo was in the hospital, he was recovering, blah, blah, blah. And it's like now you can still see he like winces when it's really cold from the injuries sustained in the bombing 5 years ago. It was like 5 years ago already? That was like 10 pages ago. So now Niko is 20 years old. He's graduated from academy. He's a finger. His view on like his fate as the next pillar or like the heir to this clan is very different from the previous generation. Like Hilo, Lan, and Shay were all pretty set with like being leaders in their clan. Like Shay, not really in the beginning. Like she had her problems where like she wanted to do her own thing, but like once she was needed and she had to choose the clan, like she was all in 120,000%. You know what I mean? But Niko's like, I don't really understand the point of this stuff. He's like just not into it, and it's a little concerning. But I get it. It's so typical for like a young person to be like, I want to have choices, because he feels like he doesn't have any choice. Oh my God, there was this amazing quote. So Hilo says to Niko, everything you do now, even as a finger, is a bit of a picture you're filling in about yourself and the family. Niko hadn't pointed out to his uncle that it seemed the picture was already very much filled in, and his job was to fit himself into it. So it's like, he just feels like everything's just already decided for him. He just has no agency in his life. So I'm thinking he's gonna rebel. I don't know. It's just typical. And then in interesting news, Lot Jin is up for being the next Horn because Juen is retiring. Because he's like 45, he's like tired. You age much faster on the military side of the clan. And Lot has been first fist. Now he's being recommended as Horn, and Hilo's like, yeah, I'm down for that. He's like, I'll announce it. Which is so interesting because Lot, when he was a teen, was so against all this clan stuff. But then Hilo sat him down and like had this like really impactful heart-to-heart with him when he was a young man. Now he's gonna be Horn, potentially. Those are the main things I want to update you on. Still a lot of political stuff going on. I have yet to cry. I will definitely clue you in if I'm getting to an emotional part. I had a feeling Hilo was going to survive because Eliza didn't panic. So that's all I have for this update. I'm going to keep reading my beautiful book, and hopefully I can read over 50 pages. I mean, it's really fucking late. If I can just finish 50 pages, that'd be great, but I have social plans tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to get much reading done then, or Saturday, maybe a little bit Sunday. The weekends are hard because weekends are social. I'll talk to you when I have something interesting to say or I get to 75%. Hi, so I have an update for Jade Legacy. I've read through up to 75%. It's the 8th. I have 2 days to finish this. Okay, so there were some major game-changing things that kind of happened in the last 25%. So first things first, Hilo had made friends a couple years ago with this Keko Espenian guy, but he was raised as an Espenian and he was an Espenian soldier. He was one of those like angel guys that use Jade as an Espenian soldier, and he had these really cool, useful, different skills as a fighter. And Hilo got to meet him and like learn these different skills, like with the bomb thing. I think I told you about that. All those bomb skills that Hilo learned came from this guy, right? So they gotten like pretty close. Oh, and this guy also helped with the Kekanese military, like training those guys and stuff like that. He was very helpful, but he had no loyalty to Kekon or to Nopi clan. What the fuck is this guy's name? His name's Jim Santo. We'll call him Jim, okay? So Jim had no loyalty to Kekon or Nopi, or Hilo in particular, even though they were like friendly. So Jim decides one day that he doesn't want to work with the Kekanese military anymore. He just wants to make his own money. So he opens this new company called GSI, which is basically a hired militia. And he's going to be utilizing green bone warrior type people, like people that can utilize Jade and have the skills, like the Jade warrior skills, the green bone skills. And Hilo was pissed about this. He's like, that's trash. You're not supposed to mix green and gold and all this stuff. Like I thought we were friends. Like, you're just going to do whatever somebody else tells you, even if it hurts, you know, No Peak or Kekon. And the guy's like, whatever, I don't give a shit. So he ends up being hired by this rich guy who's been on this huge mining boat trying to mine jade out of the bottom of the ocean along the perimeter of the island. Because they're like, oh, this is like not your waters, so we can mine here. This is like Espenian waters. And like get jade for himself. So this rich guy becomes like the biggest jade supplier after Kekon. Because the Greenbones were like sabotaging his stuff, he hires Jim to protect it. And then he's now able to like mine a lot more. So all the Greenbones are pissed about this, the Mountain Clan included. And then things get kind of worse because characters are getting older. Niko has graduated from academy. He's been a fist for 1 year, but he kind of hates it. He does not like the attention that being the heir to No Peak brings. He just doesn't see the point of greenbone culture. He just really despises it, kind of like Shay did back in the day. So he decides, just without really talking to anyone, not even his brother Rue, that he's leaving the clan. Like, he doesn't want to be part of it. He's like, I've signed up to be a soldier for GSI. And Hilo loses his shit. He's like, you're gonna take your honorable greenbone skills and just be a gun for hire, just be a warrior for hire with no loyalty, no respect, like. And I was on Hilo's side. I was like, that is so jacked up. Like, you don't want to be the pillar, you don't want to be a finger, you don't want to be a fist, you don't want to be associated with the violence that the greenbone world brings, but you're just gonna like do violence with no real reasons just because somebody paid you to do it. Like, that makes no sense. So I was really mad about that. And Rue was devastated by this as well because he just graduated high school. He's 1 year younger than Niko. He thought him and Niko were going to go to university together, you know, Niko study and be a finger at the same time. But now Niko's leaving the country. And nobody's going to know where he is because he's like a military person. Like, he can't disclose where he is. He runs away to Anden and is like, I need your help. Like, my father is like so mad. So Anden kind of protects him before he ships off, right? And Anden goes to Hilo and is like, you need to like let him live his own life. Like, we don't necessarily have to agree with what he's doing, but you can't just like force your opinions and what you want for somebody on them. Oh my God, and this like almost had me crying. So yeah, Anden just goes to Hilo and is just like, don't disown the kid. You might have to disown him publicly, but don't actually disown him. He just needs the space to decide for himself what he wants to do with his life, but you're still always gonna be his family, all this stuff. And Hilo's like, why should I do that? And Anden's like, it's because that's what Lan would have done. And when he said that, I almost lost it. I was like, Lan would have done that. Niko's actual father would have been more understanding, and like, that was really sad. In other news, Shay decides that things, you know, with the Nopi clan have kind of reached its max and Espenia, like things are slowing down growth-wise in that country. So she's like, we should really try to focus on moving more resources into Shotar to grow over there, even though the mountain has gotten there first. But she thinks there's a lot of growth opportunity in that country. So they've kind of set up a small office over there, but they're trying to grow No Peak's influence in that country now. So they've been there for about like a year. Shay and Wen go over there to check on the offices and stuff. Wen is really focused on expanding the movie industry, with Kekani's people in it to like better their reputation, because a lot of the media, I probably talked to you about this, is like showing Greenbone warriors and stuff in a really negative gangster kind of light, and she's trying to improve that. So they've had a few successful movies using this one actor, this Kekani's actor, and it improves their global image. So she's in Shotar because the actor she wants to use is under contract or whatever, and she's trying to get the guy out of the contract, whatever, whatever. She kind of threatens this movie guy, and he freaks out. He runs to the Barakan, which are basically like the half Greenbone gangs that are in Shotar. Next thing you know, Wen and Shay are getting kidnapped. And they had 2 bodyguards, but they were like overwhelmed by like 12 Barakans, whatever, and they were taken. They have no idea really why, and it's scary. Wen thinks she's gonna die. She's like, I've already lived through this. I've already died through this. The people that kidnapped them call Hilo pretty much and are like, you'll get your wife back if you give us like a shit ton of jade. You'll get Shay back if you pull out all of your No Peak people from Shotar. He's like, you need to leave this country. Disassemble your offices, disassemble all your businesses here, just leave, right? Hilo's like, fine, I'll do whatever you want, you know. But if you hurt these women, you're all gonna die, you know. Like, I can be the nicest little sheep, whatever you want, but if you hurt them, you're gonna get the full force of my rage. So he's able to get Wen out. He gives them all the jade that they asked for. Mind you, he's still in Kekon, and he's just like flying things back and forth, right? So it's hard to like do all these things when he's not in that country. He doesn't have the same kind of influence in that country like he does in Kekon. Like, he doesn't have like a bunch of Greenbone warriors in that country and all this stuff. He gets Wen out. Wen knows that they're kind of lying about letting Shay out. She's like, Shay's probably gonna die. Hilo realizes that he doesn't have enough power in that country, but he knows the mountain does. So he really humbles himself, and he goes to Atmata, you know, no weapons. He goes alone. He goes to her mansion and is like, I'm here to ask for your help. Shay is in trouble. She has been kidnapped, and I need your help to get her out. The Barakan will listen to you because you have a lot of influence in that country, and they're trying to probably impress you to benefit themselves. And Amada's like, why would I do that? And Hilo subtly reminds her that Shay saved Atmata when nobody else would. He's like, this will be a life for a life. You know, after this, we're even. So she does. She sends some of her mountain guys to help the No Peak guys that are going to Shotar, and they do this covert bust. They like find out where Shay's being held because of the mountain's sway. Like, they have the intel and the influence to get the information, and they save Shay. Mind you, Shay was getting tortured, and the way they were torturing her was that they had her in a bathtub, and the jade that they just acquired from Hilo, they were pouring. It was like so much jade pouring into this bathtub with her, and that is like way too much jade. So she carries a lot of jade, but not like a bathtub worth full of jade, right? And the way that like the jade powers work is that you're very like reactive to it, you know, like it sends this rush to your body and it enhances your senses and stuff, but there is a cap. There's a cap that your body can withstand. So she's just like being overwhelmed. She feels like her entire body is like on fire. Her brain is like exploding. Like she, you know, that's how they're torturing her. And they want information out of her. They're like, where are your white rats? Where are all the like spies you put in? And they're like, what do you know about the Uman agreement or something? There's some kind of thing going on with Uman, which is the little island off of Kekon that Espenia kind of owns. They have their armed forces there. Like, they don't own the island, but, like, it's still Kekani's land. But the Hispanians have, like, their naval bases and stuff there. These Shotarian Barakan people are asking her about, like, what do you know about Uman something something? And Shay doesn't know anything. She's like, I don't know about this. She knows about the white rats, and she was able to give up a couple names because she was trying to protect the one bodyguard that was still alive and also being tortured in the same way as her, you know? And then they were, like, shooting her with SN2 to, like, revive her, kind of wake her up a bit, but like she was like losing it. But anyway, they saved her, thankfully, and they like took out all those guys. It was awesome. Shay gets taken back home. Months go by as she recovers in the hospital and all this stuff, and she just can't put her jade back on. Like, she's like really traumatized from that whole torture experience, you know, understandably. Like, even when her husband Woon like hugs her when he's wearing his jade, she kind of like flinches because Like, she can feel his jade energy and his aura and stuff, even when she's not wearing any jade, and it hurts. The doctors all say, you know, she's perfectly fine physically, but she has this, like, mental scarring from it. So I don't think she's going to put her jade back on. And Hilo's like, what are you going to do if you don't put your jade back on? Shay thinks to herself, she's like, Greenbones revered jade, but it was not the gems themselves that were worthy of reverence. Jade had meaning because of the type of person one had to become to wear it. Jade was the visible proof that a person had dedicated their life to the discipline of wielding power, to the dangers and costs of being a greenbone. She's like, what will I do? My job as Weatherman of No Peak. So, like, just because she's not wearing jade doesn't mean she has all the great, amazing skills and qualities as a person to still continue in her role as a leader of the No Peak clan. So I thought it was awesome, and that's literally where it left out. And then the last couple updates I have for this section of the book was that Rue went off to college by himself. He joined a club of, like, other non-reactive students, which has been really cool, and he has a new friend who's kind of like anti-clan, but like not anti-clan, like the people that did the bombing and all that stuff. But he just thinks that the clans are only out for themselves. They only take care of people with jade reactivity, and they want more rights for people that aren't jade reactive. So he's like getting into that kind of service stuff, which I think is cool. And his mom does things like that too, Wen does. So yeah, I liked that. And then we get to see Niko a little bit out doing military missions, learning the reality of how not glamorous it is, right? He thought, you know, things were gonna be all, you know, better than the Greenbones or whatever, Greenbone No Peak life. But he's on this mission where they're supposed to take out this van. They've been waiting for a couple hours, like in the snow, scoping it out. Based on the intel that they had, they see the truck, you know, coming by. Niko is continuing the mission. He's there with like it's like him and 3 other guys. One of the guys is technically a spy from No Peak that Hilo sent to watch to make sure Niko's okay. Hilo had a couple young guys infiltrate the GSI thing secretly, like saying that they wanted to volunteer, whatever, just so he could keep an eye on Niko. And he's like sending money and stuff, and like they're benefiting it. Their families are benefiting from it, you know, whatever. Niko and the guy that's the spy and 2 other Espenian guys move into motion to complete their mission to take out this van with the people in it. Niko stops the truck. He's like able to stop the truck. And then the other Espenian guy like sprays the truck, you know, like he's gunning it down. They go to the truck to see if all the people are dead, and it turns out to be civilians, right? Civilians and children. So they killed innocent people because they're idiots. Like, they didn't even make sure that it was the correct targets. The guy just like sprayed it. And Niko's pissed. He's like, what the hell, dude? Like, we weren't even sure. Like, we thought it was the thing, but you just sprayed blindly, like, into this car. The guy's like, well, this was our mission. Like, it's not our fault that the intel was bad. And Niko's like, we need to report this. He's like, you're not reporting shit. This is between us. We completed the mission. Let's go back to the evac point or whatever. Like, don't say anything. The spy is looking at Niko like, don't endanger yourself, because these guys will literally turn on us so fast. Mind you, Niko doesn't know about the spies, if that's not clear. So Niko just agrees not to say anything, and then we kind of leave him for the story. So like, he's seeing that this is not all glamorous, that there's still a lot of violence and stupidity and dumb deaths going on in the world, and it doesn't matter, like, I don't know. So we'll see. I wonder when he'll come back to the family. I really hope he does soon, and I hope he learns that he's an idiot. I was just really mad that he left. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a really long chat. Guys, I'm sorry, but it's back to shitty phone quality. My SD card is exporting on my computer. I'm a little past 75%. I just started reading again, and Rue just got killed. Rue is dead. Rue has just died so suddenly. Sorry I look like this. It's like 1 a.m. Rue got set up by this clanless person to try to start clan wars again, right? So that the clanless future movement could like start again. Rue and the mountain clan guy that was also getting set up quickly figured it out, and Rue decided to clean blade fight this clanless guy. Because they both don't have jade. So they're fist fighting. Rue has his talon knife in his pocket, and the guy he's fighting takes Rue's talon knife out of his holster and slices him across the neck. And fucking kills him. So now Rue's dead in like one sentence. It says, he seized the hilt of the weapon and slashed wildly at the man on top of him, aka Rue. The talon knife caught Rue across the neck and the fine steel opened the side of his throat. For a second, no one understood what had happened. Both men stared at each other in shock as blood poured down Rue's shirt onto the man below. With astonishment, Rue clutched his neck and toppled over onto his side, his mouth opening and closing, and then the mountain guys trying to stop it by channeling into Rue. But it says the cut had been too clean and deep. Baro stared into the frightened eyes and saw the life inside them go out. Rue's fucking dead. And I love Rue. I was just thinking like half a paragraph ago as they're fighting that like Rue is like the new Anden. Like Rue is the new hero of the story. Rue is the young man trying to make a difference for his community, you know. And now he's dead. And I was just getting to really know him. I'm upset. It's late. I started reading like really late in the night, and I don't even think I'm gonna get, like, I don't even want to finish this chapter anymore. I'll try. I'll update you when I get further along. Like, that was just major. I don't know. I'm like kind of want to cry, but like I didn't get to know Rue that well, and it just happened so suddenly that like I can't even fully process what happened. So I'll catch up with you later. Hi, so I've literally barely read anything past 75%. I read like the next chapter, which is chapter 49. I did the clip on my phone last night, and I'm just feeling, honestly, so unmotivated to finish this book. I have to finish it in less than 48 hours for my live show, but I'm just tired of Fond du Lis, like, hurting me on purpose. Like, I don't want to be hurt. She killed off Rue, and, like, I mean, the pace of the story is so quick that I barely got to know him, but I was getting invested in him. I was really starting to care about him. I loved his passion for like helping the non-reactive community, and then him trying to like honor his family by doing this like clean blade duel with this clanless guy, and then he gets dishonorably killed because it was supposed to be just a fist fight, and the guy pulls out a knife and slices him across the throat and killed him. And it all feels so stupid because Rue shouldn't have really been there anyway, but he's like, I'm a 21-year-old man now, like I shouldn't have to go to my family for like permission to like do everything all the time, and it was just like a pointless death, and I'm just so disappointed by it. Like, I'm sad, but like I'm mostly like, why are you hurting me? Niko's gone, Rue's dead, Jayla's a firecracker. She's been sent kind of away to like get her life together. And I'm just like not looking forward to whatever is in this remaining 25%. But in better news, I got this really big oversized dress. It's a t-shirt dress. I really like it. I'm just gonna show you because why not? And then we'll cut this update. Here's my new t-shirt dress. It's a large. I got it oversized. It's got some slits in it. I like it. This is the only thing that's making me happy right now. I just don't want to be devastated more. I'm gonna force myself to finish this and suffer the pain. I'm just gonna really try to power through any pain that's headed my way and hope it's not so bad. Wish me luck. I'll try not to update again until I've made some serious progress. Hi friends, I am scared because I have 37 pages left in this book, and I was up pretty late last night reading. I read about 120 pages last night. I started at like 11 p.m. Today is the live show. It is coming up in a few hours, so I really need to get these last 37 pages read, but I'm scared because Sam told me that I'm probably gonna cry, and things are just a little too good right now. So the last update, I'm pretty sure I just told you that Rue died. Now a handful of years have gone by again. Right after Rue died, Niko came back. He had been away doing the militia work, and his contract had run out, but he just didn't come back home. He'd been traveling the world, whatever. He just felt kind of lost. He didn't really know if he would be welcomed back home, so he stayed away. But Rue's death brought him back, and he's decided to really step up and take responsibility in the clan. He was literally going to cut his ear off to ask for forgiveness from Hilo, and Hilo stopped him. But like, you could see how genuine and like heartfelt he was about it. And it's just sad that such a tragedy has to happen to bring the family back together. And then we find out that, of course, Atmata is always scheming. So somehow she managed to maneuver herself into position to take over that jade mining ship company thing. And she would become like the largest jade mining entity in Kekon and all this stuff. And she would automatically have an in Espenia because of all the business related things to the ship mining company thing, because the mountain has never been able to infiltrate Espenia, and that would make her power in Espenia much bigger than No Peak, just like a flick of a switch. But Shay finds out with enough time, because it's that whole Edmund deal thing she was trying to figure out, like when she was kidnapped and stuff. So they learn that they have 90 days before this deal is signed. Atmata was able to pull this off because the CEO of that ship mining company had a mistress, and this mistress was a white rat for the mountain, and she was like giving Atmata all this information. So Atmata was able to blackmail the CEO. So he agreed to sign over the company. He's saying it's because, you know, he's trying to be a politician or whatever, and it's like a conflict of interest, but he didn't really have to in that lens. But because he's being blackmailed, he's gonna sell his controlling shares to her. So Shay finds this out, and No Peak is like on a mission to stop them. I don't necessarily want to go into details of how they did that, but let's just say they had a lot of plots of like attacking around the country, the mountain, little bits at a time to distract, but like also help them weaken the mountain. So they like attacked a tributary clan of the mountain. They attacked the GSI guy. They attacked, I don't remember. They like did a lot of things. And it worked. It like ruined the reputation of the CEO guy. It came out publicly that he has like a criminal background. He's been associated with the crews for a long time, but like the police didn't have evidence. And because the government found out that the CEO guy is associated with crime lords and stuff, it disbanded like his company. Like he can't have any sales. It like broke up his company, and that stopped Atmata from taking it over. You know what I mean? So that was great. In addition, No Peak was able to hurt Atmata's reputation because they're doing all this digging of this like old classified information that's now released, because it's like 10 years plus old. So they used a lot of that stuff to prove all these criminal activities that were happening by Atmata. So they took that to the media, and it's very believable. They have like eyewitness accountings from other crime guys that were gonna die anyway. They like are arrested, and Atmata was gonna take them out because they know too much and all this stuff, whatever. So they like ruined Atmata's reputation, and then Atmata has been like turned on by most of her clan. They really want her to step down, and she hesitantly does. She concedes the pillar role to her nephew, Aito. She's like moved out of her mansion, whatever. The No Peak clan is still like wary of her. They're like, we cannot let her live, but they have to keep up appearances and stuff too. So Shay thinks they shouldn't kill Mata right now. They need to be on friendly terms with the new pillar of the Mountain Clan, because the guy's coming to them trying to make it like, you know, like a friendly alliance thing. Not like a true alliance, but just like, let's be not in a war, you know? So that's kind of coming up, this meeting with the new pillar. But Hilo is secretly planning to have Atmata killed. He's not going to tell Anden. He didn't tell Shay. He hasn't even told Lot Jin his horn. But he's going to tell Lot when the time is right to, like, kill her. He's going to whisper Atmata's name and have Lot take her down. So that's the plan, right? So he's, like, in bed with Wen talking about this. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's really going to do it. Even though, like, he just said to the family that he wouldn't. Which, you know, sure. Like, I could be on board with that. Atmata really does have to go. She will never quit trying to destroy No Peak and like have all the power and control. Like, she is obsessed with power and control. But then the previous weatherman of the mountain, this older guy that was forced to retire when Atmata retired, and apparently he gets a call from some kind of unknown informer. And then after he gets off the phone with him, I have no idea what was said, He's like, Jen, I have the information we need. Everything will be arranged as we discussed. So now I'm scared. I'm at chapter 61, called Old Tigers, which is an amazing reference because Atmata is a tiger. Like, she is so fierce and is someone to be wary of and like be cautious around because she is dangerous. She's like a dangerous beast, but she's also old. But just because she's old doesn't mean she's not still a tiger. You know what I mean? So she's just an old tiger. Somebody still to be wary of. So I'm a little nervous. I haven't confirmed which Jen it is, but I can assume that it's Mata because this older weatherman of the Mountain Clan is loyal to her, first and foremost. What is this construction noise? I'm so sorry. I found like my favorite quote in the whole book in this last 25%, and I want to share it with you. It says, "Good men are remembered with love by their friends. Great warriors are remembered with awe by their enemies." And I just think that is so genius. Good men are remembered with love by their friends. Great warriors are remembered with awe by their enemies. That is just like a stunning quote. And then, like a handful of chapters later, there's like a callback to it where, you know, when Shay realizes that Atmata had been doing all this maneuvering to try to acquire this company to overpower No Peak and just like swoop in really quick, there's a quote here that just says, "Shay was rendered speechless with awe. She should have read the clouds. Atmata was simply a better weatherman than she was, a master strategist on a level she couldn't hope to match. Where others sought honor or vengeance, At sought only control." I just think it's so interesting how Shay was in awe of Atmata's maneuvering. And that's her enemy. You know what I mean? Like, I just love that callback. I thought it was amazing. My purple tabs mean thought-provoking, so those ones I marked purple. And then when they were trying to combat Atmata, right, against all her maneuverings, there's a quote that is from Shay's perspective that says, you know, Shay had spent decades admiring Atmata as a master strategist. Perhaps At, for the sake of her own pride, would prefer to attribute her defeat to the cunning and ability of a young woman. Shay knew the truth. She was not smarter than Atmata. She never had been. Then it goes, "The way to defeat a chess master was not with greater genius, but by forcing her to play a different game." And I was like, another stunning quote to wrap up that part of the plot. But I'm scared still with how this is going to go. I really don't want to be devastated. I mean, obviously, like, when a book can emotionally move you, that's the point. Honestly, I'm just trying to prolong the inevitable. I just don't want to be devastated. And I'm making the excuse, like, I don't want to be devastated before a work meeting. But I do have some work, actually, that I should probably prioritize. I have to remind myself that it's like my priorities in reality are work, then YouTube work, and then my social life. My social life will always, you know, my social life is fine. But my YouTube work, I can't just like let drop to the wayside because I have social plans. Like, I have to make time for it and prioritize it. But I love my YouTube work, so I get so excited about it that I end up sometimes putting it at the top or wanting to put it at the top. And I have to be like, no. I actually have to like prioritize my actual job because that actually pays my bills. So I'm going to finish up some documents that I'm working on. I'm actually kind of excited about it. I've been really enjoying the project I'm on. And then once all my work is done, then I'll pick this up before my social plans. So look at that. My priorities are in order. Work, read, social life. This vlog is so long. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll do a live reaction of me reading these last 37 pages because I have no idea what's going to happen. But live reactions are always fun, right? So I will catch you when I'm doing that later. It is after work. It's like 5:30 now, and I am reading these last 37 pages. We're at the meeting with the new pillar of the Mountain Clan and Hilo, Niko, and Shay. I'm pretty sure Shay's there. I'm sure things are about to go down. It's supposed to be a friendly meeting for them to like start afresh between the two biggest clans in Kekon, but I don't trust anything right now. I'm scared. So we'll see how this goes. I'm confused because now Niko's saying something kind of unsettling. The assumption is that we're moving forward into the future without any grudges. Like, the grudges are of the older generation, like Hilo's generation. But Niko's like, I don't hold any grudge against you or the Coben family, not even over the death of my brother. I truly hope we can end this long war. That's what he says to Atto, the mountain pillar. And I'm like, what? maybe he does. Maybe he is angry. I mean, really, it wasn't the mountain's fault for that. But still, Niko's hard to read. He doesn't really share his emotions. I'm just reading the last handful of pages from my book club thing tonight.
I did the call today for my deal.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Went very well. Ryan said I did a very good job.
Nice. Congratulations, baby. Is that it? Is that done for leading the thing? It's just like a one-day
No.
effort?
It's multiple days.
Yeah.
The deal is actually on Monday.
You look so handsome.
Thank you.
So financed.
I know. The deal's
Your
actually
hair
on.
looks nice.
Thank you. Get it.
Ugh, I have to go into the office tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Don't let me forget.
What do you mean don't let you forget? It's your fucking job. You don't forget. Is that a joke? Don't let me forget. Hey baby, you have to go. Oh fuck! I actually get to sleep in tomorrow. Wow. You have to go into the office and I get to sleep in. Oh, how the tables have turned.
No, you about to turn the TV on right now?
Yeah, I gotta finish 2 out of 10.
You're joking.
I'll put it on mute. Alright, babe, hold on. What do you want to eat, though?
I don't know. You fucking tell me what you're in the mood for.
I'm fucking hungry.
Okay, give me some
I
options.
don't know.
You sound like a woman.
Alright, you want Gerald's?
That's why. You already know what you want, and I
Yeah.
said something that's not bad, and that you want Gerald's.
You want plant burger?
Fine, just order Gerald's. Fucking go for a run tomorrow. I don't have time to run tonight. At this rate, I'm not gonna be able to go to Constantine's thing. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm still recording all of this. I'm gonna put all of this in the video.
It's a time lapse though, no?
No, it doesn't have a good time lapse
you're just gonna speed it
function.
up?
So I'm just gonna speed it up in post.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this.
Do you want Gerald's?
What is that?
Oh yeah, I was playing this last night.
No. I saw you last night. You were like laying.
I was taking a little snooze.
You turned around. You said, "When I went to go to the bathroom, you said, wait, hold on." You were like this. He's like, it was like 2 in the morning. You're knocked out.
No, I was just closed my eyes.
Yeah, I just closed my.
I couldn't fall asleep really because I had the fucking light shining into my eyes and the TV was still making noise. I wasn't trying to like go to bed. I was just
You like the
taking a break.
I wasn't sleeping. Oh shit.
You know, I was thinking that. They're like, she seemed legendary, unkillable, literally. Literally. Okay, if I'm getting like emotional in this book, can you not ruin it for me?
Yeah, of course.
Can you not ruin it for me?
100% make fun of you, no problem.
Look at you in my shot. Okay, so they attacked Atmata's townhouse, but she's not there. And they saw her go in the night before, and they've been watching her townhouse this whole time, and they didn't see her leave, so somehow she, like, escaped. There must be some kind of, like, underground secret escape route or something. I don't know. She's not there. I'm just surprised she knew there was going to be an attack on her life this night, or this day. So, intrigued, but worried. What? So Atto and Niko just agreed to be friends, right? But it seems like pretty genuine. And Ato's like, under heaven and on Jade, you know, let's put the grudges behind us. And Niko's like, I'm only a pillar in training, but I can speak for my clan only with the final blessing of my uncle. And Hilo, it goes, Hilo's eyes focused on Ato and he nodded. Under heaven and on Jade, he declared, then drew his pistol and fired twice. The shots went over at Ato's shoulder and hit the penitent behind him, like the religious guy that's just in the room to like make sure there's no violence. And I'm like, what is happening? His brain spray across the wall? Oh, the religious guy was pulling a gun? Clearly he's fake. I mean, obviously I thought he would be a fake if Hilo was gonna kill him. But confirmed. What? They're trying to kill Ato too. Like the other religious guys have guns too, and they're shooting at everyone, even the mountain guys. Hilo tried to use a deflection to stop the bullets from coming at him, but he knew it would like ricochet the bullets around the room, and he doesn't want the bullets to accidentally hit Shay or Niko, so he ends up deflecting to push Niko out of the way, and then Hilo gets hit in the side with the bullets, and now he's like bleeding, and I'm sure he's dying. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the way my friends were talking, I wouldn't be surprised if Hilo didn't make it. So I don't know if I'll cry because I'm not like completely shocked, because I know something bad is going to happen, and it just feels like that would kind of, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll be sad, but I'll be prepared. So I might not cry. Okay. The fake religious guys were former GSI militia guys who were paid by Atmata to do this, to murder everyone in the room. What is her deal? She says she doesn't kill for like petty reasons, but like she just wants control, but I don't understand this woman. This woman is psycho. God, this woman is so... like, just get over yourself. Hilo's still alive, barely. He wanted to go home. He didn't want to potentially die in a hospital. So Anden's been doing everything he can. He's stabilized relatively, but we'll see. Also, they caught Atmata. They found her. Well, she kind of just went back to the mansion and didn't resist after she found out her attempt to kill the Calls and the new mountain pillar, Ato, failed. Ouch. He's gonna die. Hilo's gonna die. He had a bullet wound through the spine and his organs, and the others tore up his insides. Well, you know what? At least he's dying in a way where he could say his final words. That was beautifully sad. Hilo died, but he said he's happy that he'll get to see Rue and Lan again. I got like teary-eyed, but I didn't cry. Hi friends, I'm here to end this spoiler-filled Jade Legacy vlog. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. At first, I gave it 4 stars, but when I went to the live show and was talking with Sam and Eliza and Meredith about it, I just remembered more and more of the things that happened in this book that I was like, oh my God, those moments were so amazing. That was so epic. That was like heart-wrenching, and I had to up my rating. I think I struggled with it mainly because the timeline is so extremely long. It's like, I don't know, it's like almost 20 years of time that goes by. That made it a little difficult for me to feel the emotional impact of some of the characters. I don't know. It just made it kind of challenging for me. Like, things that I would read felt literally that long ago, even though I'd read it like a week ago. So I would almost forget that those things happened, because like, oh, that happened so long ago. Because in the book, it happened like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you know? I don't know. That made it a little difficult. But overall, I think the series was absolutely amazing. I think Fonda Lee is a stupendous author and writer. She had some of the most amazing lines. In the end, I know I did my live reactions, but if we want to just surmise, No Peak Clan was able to combat Atmata's attempts to overtake them by buying that corporation, right? They like canceled her whole plans. They exposed the CEO of that corporation as like a criminal, and his company got kind of broken up, so Atmata wasn't able to buy it. And then No Peak, through some released previously confidential information that happened like 10 years ago, were able to prove that Atmata was very corrupt, that she was using a lot of criminals and stuff, and her mountain clan kind of turned on her and they wanted her to step down. She steps down, Atto takes over, but she's not done. She tries one last final attempt to take out her heir and the No Peak clan when they're having this like friendly meeting to kind of end this war, to try to have a bit of peacetime with this new generation. And Hilo ends up deflecting his loved ones out of the way of these bullets that are like ricocheting at them from these disguised religious people that are in the room where this meeting is happening. Instead of like deflecting to protect himself from the bullets and risking them ricocheting and hitting his loved ones and like the mountain clan guy that he's trying to work out of friendship with, he deflects the people out of the way, and then Hilo ends up getting hit fatally. So they were able to save him long enough. You know, they brought him back home. He refused to go to the hospital. He's like, just take me home. He knows he's gonna die. Anden performs enough healing on him to keep him alive for like the night. Hilo was able to say his goodbyes. You know, Jaya, his daughter, like lives down in the south of the island, so she didn't make it back in time, which was sad, but I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Hilo was just really grateful that like he would finally get to see Rue again, that he'd get to see Lan again. Why am I like crying now? I think I didn't get as emotional reading it as I maybe would have in a different situation, because my husband was home, he was kind of distracting me. If I had read it kind of like alone by myself, I probably would have cried, but yeah, that was really sad. Why am I so upset now? It's like delayed. I finished this a couple days ago. But yeah, I think it was just a really good way to tie up the whole series after everything that Hilo's been through and stuff. I'm like really crying. So there was that. Amada got taken into custody by the mountain group, and as a show of good faith, they, you know, gave her to No Peak to decide what they want to do with her. Anden goes to see her at the direction of Niko, who's now the pillar, and Niko had decided to exile her instead of kill her and not give her the satisfaction of being a martyr and all that stuff, and kind of force her to live without Jade and be exiled where nobody will care about her and all this stuff as punishment instead. And then Anden's leaving. He calls a taxi. And it's Baro that picks him up. And Baro's story at the end kind of made me feel really bad for him. Like, I have so much pity for him. He's so pitiful. But I'm hopeful that he's kind of like turning things around. He ended up helping a lot, like with the evidence against Mata. He like knew a lot of things, and he made a lot of mistakes, but there's just something so pitiful about his life, and he really just desperately wants to be important and be remembered and have somebody care about him, and just nobody does. And even at the end, still nobody does. But he he ends up driving Anden to Twice Lucky, which is that restaurant, and Anden's gonna have brunch with his family. And I just thought it was just like such a beautiful way to sandwich the story. Like, the series started with Baro in the Twice Lucky trying to like steal Jade, and then it ends with Baro driving Anden to the Twice Lucky to be with his family. Like, just sandwiching those two places and people together, I just thought was awesome. Even though I didn't give every book 5 stars, I'd say this series is like pretty much a 5-star series. Just round it up. And I would definitely recommend it. Maybe don't binge it as hard as I did, because you'll probably want an emotional break. But reading them fairly close together is probably for the best, because there's a lot that goes on, and the political maneuvering and stuff, you know, it's easier to keep your head wrapped around if you don't leave too much time in between. But yeah, I absolutely love this experience. I'm so grateful for my friends wanting to join in the book club with me and like be co-hosts with me. Thank you again, Eliza, Sam, and Meredith. It made this experience so much fun, and I hope anybody that read the books, you know, even if you're watching this much later, I hope you enjoy them as well and liked these spoiler vlogs. I have spoiler vlogs for every single book in this series if you haven't seen them already. But that's all I have, and I really appreciate your time. If you want to spend more time with me, maybe in a video that's not as long, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in another video. Bye.